Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tender. We're going to do something a little bit different here today. I just wanted to point out, MJ did post, I made public a members video for CGC, and I think we're going to have a historic move here in MJ and all of the components of it. So I just wanted to just point it out for you guys publicly real quick. And by the way, it is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. Welcome, traders. And we're going to go through SPY. We're going to go around the horn on the daily time frame. And I'll kind of just show you a few tea leaves of what I think is happening, when the rotation is going to happen on tech, which could happen literally any minute, any day here. So I do think our high is in for the indices, but we'll give the bulls an option to see the upside few points that are possible too. So let's get into it. We're doing this video intraday about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in getting these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube member. It's 99 cents and it helps support this channel. Thank you very much. Let's go over to right now the 10-year bonds. How boring, right? So bonds are a huge influence on the market. So therefore, I want to show these. Bonds have been falling, and therefore rates, this is the 10-year, and the 10-year rates, which is inverse, have been rising. So unless you think inflation is just going to start blowing up from here, I just want to show you the relationship of what's happening. We're down to the 200-day moving average. We had to correct after this move, and now I think we're just about done with that correction. Probably as soon as tomorrow, this could reverse, and we can continue to move higher. That would bring the rates down. So why is this important? Well, you see tech has relative strength throughout this move. Okay, now once this starts reversing and rates start to go down, tech is not going to like this move to the upside. And with rates heading down, small caps are going to enjoy that at first. And then as rates fall too fast, that's a recession indicator. Okay, so as these bonds reverse, and we'll show you that we already have some positive divergence here in the RSI after this last move here, and we're at the 200. So we're looking for support around here. And if you want to draw support lines, we have great support from this zone here, all the way across. So we're back at a resistance, support here. So you can draw that in. So I'm looking for a reversal, and I think that will be the indicator that tech will start to fall. So I'll give you the other point of view. So this is the Treasury rates, the 10-year rates, and we're at resistance. Okay, at resistance, we're at the 200-day moving average resistance as well. And I'm looking for this thing to start falling. Now going into resistance, just like the inverse, we have negative divergence here. So as these interest rates fall, at first, we should see some relative strength in IWM. You notice that IWM has been falling when the rates were going up. Okay, it's just in general, small caps don't like higher interest rates. They borrow much more heavily than larger companies. So it's more dependent. MJ is still rising, you guys. Okay, so we should see a bounce here in IWM. I'm not saying it's making a new high. Probably just a nice sharp wave 2. Okay, and then in tech, we should start seeing a collapse. So right now we're triangulating, and like I said, I'll give you give you this, bulls. If we start to break out from this, then make a new high, we'll just make another divergent high and we'll short it again from there. Do I think so? Not really. Not especially if we start seeing those indicators start happening. And so we should see this fall as rates start dropping again. Okay, so another clue, Nvidia. Keeping an eye on Nvidia. We're so far getting a possible reversal candle. We're looking at this. We have negative divergence now on Nvidia. We also have it on the weekly, and these two peaks here, that former all-time high. As soon as we made all-time highs, we formed a divergence from this top to this top. So I'm looking for this to start moving down fairly quickly here, meaning days into next week. All right, there's another hint. I'm not going to go through all these. Apple's in the same situation as Nvidia. A lot of people look at the dollar. Dollar rising rapidly, and eventually the market will see this as a run to safety into the dollar. So we'll keep an eye on this one. The VIX. The VIX is bouncing off of the 50 moving average. So far rejecting off of the 19. So that's important. But if we see the VIX get above this 20 and 8 EMA and get above 19, you better believe it's on its way. So I think it's just creating another lower high. Higher low here. So higher low, and then continue the move to the upside. All right, SPY. SPY, we know all the negative divergences that are happening here. So right now it's holding on to this 8 EMA, but still showing some weakness. And then we'll go down to the 65 in just a second, and I'll kind of show you what I think is setting up. Again, this bear flag, fake break. I think we're going to start heading lower on SMH here. Just running through real quick. So let's go to the 65 on SPY here. And I'm done with this. So we have this bearish rising wedge, and we're flirting with the bottom of the wedge here. So if you see a break there, I think that's the first sell signal we're going to get. And so ultimately, what I think is, we could have looked at this as an ABC. We could look at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading diagonal, and we're just setting up a lower high. There's many ways to speculate on Elliott wave. And also in the more bear situation, and this is what I think is kind of happening here, and this next move will be pretty relentless if this does occur, where you have an A. This is an expanding flat. Sorry, it's a 1, expanding flat for a 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, and then this next move could be pretty large, and then all those 3, 4, 3, 4s, and 3, 4s will have to play out. So that should be a pretty large move if that does play out. If we start breaking highs here, then I think it's more or less the like this high right here, more or less a leading diagonal and a retracement and lower. We start breaking this high, we might start having a different situation to where we could test higher. Okay, so if you're in that camp, great, but you're still limited on the amount of room it has to go. Okay, Qs. You notice we made a new high right here on SPY. Qs are diverging, so we have a lower high here. And so how would I count this? What are we looking at here? And first of all, on a traditional sense, we have another wedge within here, right here. And after getting to resistance, we did break down from this wedge, and we're still below it. All right. Now on a Elliott wave, I think this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulse move, and we're setting up very similar to SPY. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now that sets up for a big move to the downside. And if you're a bull, I mean, really all you have to argue here is, I mean, you didn't make a new low here, so you would have to argue that this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 setup to the bull side. The problem with that is that that's probably setting up a really big move to the upside. All right, fair enough. But with all the negative divergences, all the things that are happening on the big scheme of things, I just don't think that's very probable. So that's your argument, though. If you're on that side, great. That's what makes a market. All right, so that's what I really want to show you. I didn't have much else going on here. Just an update, a little bit of maintenance, and we'll just finish off with the 65. So we had our breakout from the inverse head and shoulder. We back tested and setting up some market structure here. Positive 1, 2, 1, 2. And if we start seeing this low break out, it doesn't have to change everything. This could still be a flat pattern. And obviously, if we make this low, then the market's probably making a new high. Okay. So those will be your key things to look out for. You can close this gap, go a little lower. The market's probably making a new high. If we start breaking above 19 and holding above, I think we're starting our breakout from this flag, this bullish falling channel. That's what I got for you guys. Thanks for joining us here at Options Center. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.